I want to thank everyone for coming here tonight. I want to particularly thank the Conrad Hilton Foundation, Steve Hilton, Judy Miller, and the other colleagues and staff at the Conrad Hilton Foundation. You have been most generous to us, not only this year, not only because we are prize recipients, but you have been generous to us in your support and in your wisdom for many years. And I'm grateful for that, and I look forward for lots more partnership and cooperation in the future. I also want to thank the jurors. I know you did not have an easy task. There are lots of other equally great organizations out there, and I am grateful that Women for Women International was the honorees today, and I look forward to celebrating other organizations in the future, and I'm very grateful for your decisions and humbled by it. I, of course, want to thank the staff of Women for Women International, the staff, our supporters, our donors, our board, and I want to ask few of them to come because they are really the heroines for the organization. Some of our country directors here have traveled from different parts of the world to come join us in this celebration. I want to start with Judith Registre, who is our country director from Sudan, Saida Saric, country director from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bera Karabongi from Rwanda, Ngozi Izi from Nigeria, Hamida Latifi from Kosovo, and Christine Karumba from Democratic Republic of Congo. Please welcome them. They are really our heroines. I know some of the Conrad Hilton staff who came to see some of our offices and operations in the process of the scrutinizing process, and they have witnessed how these women are heroines really in the field who work against all odds in a very insecure world to give hope and to make hope happen and to rebuild life. So I am grateful for all of you for your wonderful work. You know, I find it constantly amazing that in the 21st century, we are still dealing with wars that actually 90% of this casualty are civilians, 75% of them are women and children. I find it amazing and shocking that 80% of worldwide refugees are still women and children. I find it amazing that still 2.5 of the 2.5 billion people who are defined as poor, women in this world, women comprise 2/3 of them, and that women only own 1% of the land in this world. It is not practical even to do that. We spent this morning and this afternoon talking about democracy and development, the social, the economic, and the political aspects of it. And one of the things that we learned at Women for Women International is actually women are bellwether for the society. Often, bad things often start with women, and good things often start with women. Violence such as the one committed by the Taliban first started with women. And everyone looked the other directions because we thought it's the culture or the religion or whatever, where eventually that violence impacted all of us. There are every country that has violence against women has its own story of how the nation has actually been impacted by that violence. Women are indicators for the directions of the society. They are not only moral reasons why we should give women the justice of having equality and full representation at the negotiating table when we are talking about the building of peace, the building of sustainable democracies and economies. They are practical reasons why we need to do that. Because there is no way we can talk about building strong nations without without having strong women. Strong women do lead to strong nations, and that's one of the things that we have seen. I'm actually I feel that this award is not only for Women for Women International. This is it's an acknowledgement for the importance of women and their role. And I'm so glad the captain here to celebrate your celebration here. It is about time that we get into the negotiating tables. It is about time that we are heard fully, not in a checkbox that we are checked. Because again, we are the ones, I find it amazing that the only group that does not fight, that does not pillage, that does not burn, that does not rebel, that does not actually do any damage, and the only group of the society that actually build and work more on education and health and food does not get represented. You know, we should be rewarded for actually building societies and getting education and food and building our communities. And that is one of the things that we work at Women for Women International. We need, when we are talking about how do we help people recover from war, peace, as I learned in the process, not only personally as a survivor of war, but as someone who works with other survivors of wars. Peace is interpreted as my life improving, as I'm able now to provide good food for my children and good education for my children and good health. And that's how we need to actually address how do we build peace. And that is how what Women for Women International does. We, through the sponsorship program, through the connections that we are building, through that $27 a month that is going to each woman, we're actually helping her meet her immediate economic needs, the needs to eat and to send her kids to school. But we're immediately training her in business skills and vocational skills, in women's rights, in women's political, social, economic role and value in the society, so we can help her meet long-term economic solutions or address long-term economic solutions. We measure success by our ability to help the women stand on their feet and rebuild their lives once again and get jobs at the end of the day and vote and participate and become active citizens in their own communities. And today, I actually want to ask a couple of my colleagues to share some of the examples that we are dealing with and that we are facing in the ground. So I want to ask first Hamida Latifi from Kosovo office.
Good evening, dear ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Conrad Foundation, Hilton, and thank you. I will share with you, I am Hamida Latifi, you heard Zainab. I am country director from Kosovo. I am with Women for Women International 6 years. On 6 November will be 6 years actually, so more or less I'm there. I will share with you a story on women. Zainab said the way we rebuild lives, and I'm telling you the story of a woman who rebuilt her life and continues as an active citizen. Her name is Miradia Mzio. She joined our program in 2002. When I meet her, she was heartbroken. She was a victim of the war, and more than that, actually. She lost husband. Actually, her husband was missing person. She lost 2 brothers-in-law and father-in-law. When she came back, there was no home standing. There was nothing. She had to start it from ashes. And then she joined Women for Women International program. She went through vocational skills training, learned the skill. Also, she received sponsorship. For the first time, she got money on her hand. For the first time, she received letter. Because in my culture, unfortunately, culture of writing is not as present. She wrote letter for first time as well. About 95% of women said they wrote letter first time. And she started to learn her human rights, and she started to get sense of leadership. Slowly she got to lead her community, and slowly her prison, her home, becomes smaller for her. Because also tradition requires in my country women stay inside and have no freedom to move. Miradia could not accept this, so she got dilemma. She waited for her husband to come back 5 years. After 5 years, after she completed our program, after being active community leader, she decided to leave husband's home. She decided to continue her life and escape the prison. Today, Miradia is very active, leading community activities. She is married, have a son, and actually, she is a woman we want others to be, other victims of the war. This is what we do through our program, with one life at a time and many lives through our work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's an honor for me to stand before you on behalf of the women in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I would like all of us to acknowledge the effort the UN has done to make the election a fact today. As you all know, 4 million of people died in Congo and tens of thousands of women were raped. I will share about a story of a woman, Honorata. Before the war broke, she used to be a director of a school, a girls' school. When the war broke, she was taken in the forest and was taken as a slave in the forest. She was raped many times by different men. She escaped and came in Bukavu. Honorata started the program, and during her participation in the program, she was featured on Oprah show. What Honorata said, she said, I want to regain my dignity. I want my dignity back to me. Honorata, on the International Women's Day, she came to see me and said, today I would like to make a speech when you will host the International Women's Day. I said, you are in the right place. Women for Women is here to give to women the place to bring their voices out. Honorata gave her speech before the governor of the province, the UN bodies. She said this: suffering has a heart. Suffering has eyes. Suffering can see injustice, can see impunity. And today, suffering is speaking to you because suffering has a mouth. And suffering is speaking to you on behalf of tens of thousands of women who have been raped during war, separated from their families, rejected by their husband, and I claim today for their rehabilitation. I want to thank you all for making the lives of the women to have a refuge in their homeland and to have hope for their future. Thank you.
It actually has been a journey of humbling experiences working at Women for Women International and meeting women like Honorata, like the different women that we are working with. They have taught me the meaning of courage, resilience, strength, hope, the meaning of smile, the importance to smile in the face of hardship. They have taught me that war is like a flashlight on humanity. It shows us the worst of it, and that is what we read in our newspaper on a daily basis. But it also shows us the best of it. And it's through the willingness to get out of the ashes and rebuild their lives. Or the American women or the women from the 52 countries that we have membership who have joined us and sponsored one woman at a time and said, this is my response. This is how I want to reach out to other women around the world and share my resources and share my voice with them. It has been a journey on not only the flashlight of the badness of the humanity, but of the goodness of humanity. If I always say, if Honorata can face the governor and speak, if the women in Congo can dance, and the Rwandese women can sing, if Iraqi women still having weddings, who are we to give up? And who are we to give up hope? And who are we to say this is too big for us to do? Peace is always cheap to actually build. And women are major agents in building peace and critical mass in actually stabilizing countries and stabilizing nations, because strong women do lead to strong nations. I have to conclude, I know you heard it, I have to conclude with Rumi, because it is a good poem to always remember. Out beyond the worlds of right doings and wrongdoings, there is a field. I will meet you there. And today I'm in the honor of such great company that I know in today's world, out beyond the world of peace and war, there is a field. I know many of you are there. And for those of you who are not, please join me there. Thank you very, very much. And I'm honored.